Yo, how's it going? It's July 2nd now of 2025. Blue Protocol Star Resonance isn't out yet, but recently we got a announcement for a closed beta test coming soon. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. Extremely excited. Would have loved for an official release date, but I guess a closed beta is as close as we're gonna get. China is getting their July 17th official release. The West is getting their global test, not confirmed to be on July 17th as well, but I suspect that's the soonest we can, expect it. So recently, the Star Resonance Database Discord and Twitter account, got around and collecting questions from the Western English-speaking community. And they sent those questions forward to the Blue Protocol Star Resonance developers. Bokuro, right? Bokura. Or to be more accurate, they sent those questions forward to IGN? Somehow? Alright, well, IGN is platforming Star Resonance Database, and they managed to contact the Bokura developers and basically relayed those questions over to them. That's good. I mean, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Bokura seems to be more communicative. The previous developers over at Bandai Namco said nothing. They did not communicate at all. So I'd love to see, this communication. Anyway, there's an interview. I'm gonna check it out. If you guys are curious, I will include the link to the article in the description of the video, and you can read, the entire thing without any cuts. Bokura founder Roy answers the community's biggest questions. Roy, Bokura's founder and seasoned game producer. MMOs nowadays try to cater to every type of player, PvE, PvP, role players, casuals, hardcore, etc. But this often leads to a lack of proper direction and focus, resulting in none of the content reaching its full potential. In the case of Star Resonance, who is the main target audience, and which content areas will you primarily focus on? I think I already know the answer to this question. Bokura talked about this earlier on their official account. Many members of our team, including myself, are anime enthusiasts. Combined with my years of experience as an MMO producer, I've always dreamed of creating an MMO with distinct anime aesthetic. We know this is an ambitious vision because today's market lacks games that truly cater to both anime aesthetics and traditional MMO players. That's what I, been thinking, because there have been anime MMOs in the past, but they've never really quite scratched that itch. That's exactly who we're building this game for. Players who, like us, love deep MMO experiences and vibrant anime-style worlds. Right on. Hey, that's for me! This game's for me! The game's core gameplay will focus on a PvE battle and casual gameplay hybrid model. That said, as we continue updating the game and gathering player feedback, we may expand into other areas in the future. I'm thinking maybe they're just talking about more hardcore content, more hardcore endgame. I mean, that's good. Focus on PvE. Great. Fantastic. In my opinion, it's great that PvP is not included. They've confirmed that they're not, working on PvP currently. PvP will not be part of the game. And the reason why I think this is a great thing is because they, will focus all their resources and development on making the PvE great. Look, I've played other MMOs before. I've played WoW. I've played Final Fantasy. I played Guild Wars 2. PvP in every single one of those games has not been great in my honest opinion. If I wanted PvP in a video game, I'll just go play something like a fighting game, like Street Fighter or Call of Duty. I don't know. These kind of games are not super suited for competitive play, player versus player. Maybe that's a hot take. You can take it up with me, in the comments section. What do you think? But I honestly, this does not bother me in the slightest. If they do include PvP in the future, though, then cool. I'll probably not engage with that, though. Question 2. Monetization is one of the biggest concerns for Western players compared to the Eastern player base. Specifically, the Chinese beta test revealed that the game has a premium to in-game currency conversion system without any daily or weekly restrictions, similar to many recently criticized MMOs in the West. I think that may refer to systems like the WoW token in World of Warcraft, or the gold to gem and vice versa conversion system in Guild Wars 2. As mentioned earlier, our game focuses on a PvE battle, casual gameplay hybrid model, so we certainly don't want a pay-to-win environment here. While we do offer pay-for-convenience options, like currency conversion, none of these provide exclusive advantages. All progression items can be earned through gameplay, and the trading center ensures that even paid boosts indirectly benefit the broader community by circulating resources. That's fair, alright. These systems are designed to help players with limited playtime or those joining later to catch up, rather than creating an imbalanced situation. We believe this approach will create a relatively balanced gameplay experience, fostering a fair ecosystem and a healthier in-game economy. We also recognize that players may want to support the development team through these optional purchases. I have mixed feelings about this, because, I'm just one of those people who are concerned about the monetization. Gacha is included in this game, so pay that in mind. But thankfully, that seems to be focused around the cosmetics rather than anything pay to win. The whole pay-to-win argument is a very convoluted and very volatile subject. Everybody has their own definition of what pay-to-win means, so we'll see how egregious this business model is going to be. Look, I've played games like Guild Wars 2. I'm still playing Guild Wars 2, and I've already harped on about the monetization of that game. But I do like having the options of, just playing the game casually and earning, the content, on my own without having to swipe. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that is. Hopefully it's not too bad. We believe combat and progression are the heart of the MMO experience, so we've designed these systems to cater to all types of players. Through extensive iteration, we've created a battle system that's easy to pick up for newcomers, but deep enough to challenge veterans. For hardcore players, we've built a robust PvE ecosystem. From class customization to dungeons and open-world encounters, as players grow stronger, they'll test their skills in high-stakes battles, including 5-player dungeons and 20-player raids. Oh, 20-player raids. They're probably going to be on the same level as Alliance raids in Final Fantasy XIV. 20 is a lot for hardcore content because, organizing that many people is difficult enough already. Organizing 10 people, in my opinion, is already difficult enough already. So I think, in the future I'm guessing they may do 10-player raids. I hope they do 10-player raids, all while earning exciting rewards. Each season will introduce fresh content like new classes, dungeons, and PvE modes to keep the experience dynamic. Each season. So I wonder if they're not going to adopt the expansion model? I wonder if they'll be selling expansions. Maybe this game will be entirely free to play, including any big major content updates. So they're gonna, instead of expansions, we might be expecting seasons? Or maybe seasons are just every, they're probably 3 or 4 month patch cycles. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what they mean by seasons. They're probably gonna be expansion-sized content? For casual players, we're crafting a relaxed social playground with features like house building, life skills, fishing, etc. And we are also planning seasonal events for social play. Over time, we'll add more social minigames, aiming to create a vibrant world that feels like a shared amusement park for everyone. Nice, very, very nice. Our goal is to create a playground where every player, whether competitive or casual, can find their own adventure. I know some of you will probably have something to say against that. You're not very social, I get that, but this is extremely important for MMOs specifically. Yeah, the gameplay, the combat is important, absolutely. But this is an MMO, and MMOs are a different beast entirely. You also you need really good social elements in your MMO to build up community. If you don't have a strong community for your MMO, then it doesn't matter how good the gameplay is. People are not going to hang out. People are not going to care about the game. They'll dip in, they'll dip out, come back later. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. You'll want people wanting to spend time in the game and, just hanging out, creating friendships, creating really good community moments. I judge MMOs, very differently from the normal average video game. Oh, we got images over here. Are these new? Oh, we got this. That's nice. Yeah, I've seen the fireworks shows at the beach of the main town hub. That's pretty dope. Cute. Nice. This is one of the mounts in the game. Kind of reminds me of one of the mecha mounts in Final Fantasy XIV. You even get to ride on the shoulder of this mecha mount. I wonder if these are just going to be run-of-the-mill mounts where, you know, they get you from point A to point B, like traditional MMOs, or if they're going to be more like Guild Wars 2 mounts and they're going to have more use. They're likely going to be traditional mounts. That said, we have the flying. We have the flying, the double jumping, the wall running, so that's already good enough. We don't necessarily need special mounts like that. We do have movement systems, you know. It makes me wonder, like, if we're gonna have flying, double jumping, and wall running, then I'm less inclined to use mounts, because this may be a lot more fun. Oh, that's a nice view. These moments are great. You know, just hanging out with friends, posing. We're intentional about keeping progression systems streamlined. Our philosophy is simple. Whether you're a new player just starting out, or a veteran returning after a break, we want you to jump back in effortlessly. The gist of it is that this is a very low on the button bloat compared to traditional MMOs. We're not going to get, you know, 100 buttons on screen. That's great in my opinion. I don't need 100 buttons on screen. I'm a Guild Wars 2 player. I like having just about 8-10 buttons on screen. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I know some people prefer to have a lot more options, but whenever a game, you know, has button bloat, they tend to be meaningless options. That's my opinion. So having less button bloat means it's probably going to be a lot more focused on the action on screen, instead of staring at your hotbar. That said, I love build crafting, so I do hope there is still plenty of complexity around that, you know, with talent systems and, you know, gearing up your character. I'm very curious about that. Something I'll definitely be paying attention to whenever I get my hands on this game. Making core progression both enjoyable and accessible has always been one of our top priorities. We're adopting a seasonal approach. What does that mean? Not only to introduce fresh content, but also to revitalize existing activities with thematic updates, ensuring even veteran players find new excitement in familiar gameplay. We're also deeply committed to enhancing social experiences. Social interaction is the heart of our game, and every piece of content is designed to bring players together. After all, the most memorable moments often emerge from player-driven interactions. To foster this, we're building a more diverse game ecosystem that caters to different playstyles. I mean, that's basically what I said right here. Yeah, I do agree with this part. For example, we've invested significant effort into developing the housing system. While it was not available in the test server yet, we'll continue expanding it through seasonal updates. Yeah, they confirmed housing will be in the game. Not sure if that'll be available on launch. Probably not likely, because they've been focusing on just getting the game out of the door. Question 6. The community would love to see the game include content that enriches exploration, similar to timed or dynamic events present in other MMOs. These are unscheduled events that randomly appear throughout the world while bringing the community together. Are there any plans for such content? Guild Wars 2 has mastered this. In fact, that is the bread and butter for that game. So that would be nice if Blue Protocol learns from that and adapts something similar. As fellow MMO players, we absolutely love dynamic events like these. They're a fantastic way to encourage exploration and spontaneous player interaction. However, with our current development resources, we're prioritizing refining the game's core experience first. Yep, they're trying to get the game out of the door. Understandable. That said, we're actively evaluating the potential for unscheduled world events and in similar content in future updates. Stay tuned for more details. All right, fair enough. Undoubtedly, the game's player base will include many anime enthusiasts. What's anime? Can we expect collaborations with anime franchises in the future? Absolutely! As an anime-inspired MMO, our game naturally aligns with anime and manga. Real question is, which IP would we team up with first? Our community team will soon launch surveys to gather your voices and preferences because we want these partnerships to reflect what you truly love. Attack on Titan is kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? No. Kill la Kill. I vote Kill la Kill. I know it's old, but excited to see anime collabs, yeah. Hell yeah. Currently, direct player-to-player trading is not possible. And gear cannot be traded in the auction house. However, the shared warehouse system allows players to have a shared space with a limited number of friends for trading, which is especially beneficial for the life skill profession aspect of the game. That's That's real bad. Not being able to directly trade with players and even on the auction house? That's unheard of for an MMO. Why? At the current stage, we're not planning to lift these restrictions. Oof. Past experiences show that allowing ability-enhancing items and shared storage led to players feeling forced to create multiple alternate accounts. That's why we've limited such items while still maintaining a system where friends can share resources. We want to encourage cooperation without creating pressure to grind on alts. Well, then this goes against what they were saying earlier about, player-driven economy. I don't like this excuse. This seems like an excuse. It is nice that you can still trade with friends, but I think people will probably just find a loophole through this and constantly switch around friends for their shared warehouse. Question 9. The current life skills system heavily favors players who have the time to create and play alternate characters. As life skill energy is character specific, most casual players don't have the time or interest in creating alternate characters. How do you plan to address this and similar issues related to this in the future? Oh, interesting. I wasn't very aware of this. We actually do not encourage multi-character gameplay. I'm an alcoholic. I don't like hearing that. I love making characters. Our shared storage system is intentionally designed this way to avoid grinding on alts. We hope the players create alternate characters to experience different character body types and genders, not optimization for the main character. Okay, so it's not that they're discouraging multi-character gameplay. I do like having a shared bank with all my characters. This is very much like Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 does this. I think WoW does this now too. I'm not entirely sure. So that aspect is good. And if it's not, a huge hassle, I would love to make multiple characters. I just hope that it's not like Final Fantasy XIV, where they lock your cosmetics on different characters. It would be really, really bad if the cosmetics were not shared, if they were not account bound. That was one of my biggest gripes in Final Fantasy XIV. We've reworked the life skill system to optimize the experience for casual players and players who are dedicated to life skills. Here's what we have. Make energy only affect trade. Limited trading? Allow free gathering crafting without energy cost. Okay, this is good. Add more recipes so dedicated life skill players won't hit progression walls. All right, that's nice. That is nice. Question 10. The auto combo system currently allows players to stand in place and attack nearby monsters with skills in random order. This does not include auto pathing or full auto combat, which is great. However, the MMO audience in the West strongly dislikes automated combat systems and is concerned about this feature being expanded, potentially trivializing combat and breaking immersion if many players are seen AFK farming simple monsters. Do you plan to adjust this system for the Western audience to avoid these issues? Yes, we definitely hate auto combat. I hate auto combat. Our vision is to create a fun world for players to explore, so we've implemented a auto combat and auto pathfinding in a very careful way. We want the auto function to solely reduce meaningless grind time in low difficulty areas without compromising core gameplay. For a long-term MMO, some convenience features are necessary for players to handle the relatively repetitive and low difficulty features. Additionally, we've strictly controlled the rewards from monster grinding, which will minimize the impact of players AFK farming. Where do I begin? Basically, they just want to turn players into bots. I don't know how to feel about this. Then again, it's just life skills. It's just, gathering and farming. It's not that big of a deal. It's not the premier feature of the game. The combat and the gameplay is the premier feature of the game. I'm in the mindset that if you have a problem with tedium and repetitive gameplay, and you're concerned about, that getting stale, I don't think the solution is automating that feature. I think a problem rests in, the whole core design of the life skills. We'll see how that ends up affecting the overall community of the game and the economy, the in-game economy. Hell, I'll probably partake in this feature, to be honest. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean that I won't be using this. But if it's available to me, then I will use it. I'll be dumb not to take advantage of this. Maybe some of you, will consider this to be a nothing burger. And, that's fair. That is completely fair. This may not bother the majority of players anyway, so I'm just an old man yelling at a cloud is all. Regarding the Western server structure, will it be split into regions, or can we expect a single mega server where everyone can play together? We've heard much feedback on this matter, and we completely agree that players should play together. While physical distance creates technical challenges, we're actively working toward a mega server solution and hope to deliver satisfying results. I don't know that many MMOs that use mega servers. The only one I'm aware of is Guild Wars 2, and I think Elder Scrolls Online. You can correct me on that. I haven't played the game. That's great. Yeah, mega servers are super good. Incredibly good. Let me tell you something. World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV are very large games, but I always run into the problem of never running into people while I'm just doing things in any given zone. It's a very lonely experience when going through zones, unless you're on a world boss train or something. Games like Guild Wars 2, where they have mega servers, you seamlessly have everyone playing all together, even in low density, low populated zones. So when I'm playing Guild Wars 2, I'm always finding people just doing things around any random, even an old zone that's 12 years old. So this is good. This is very, very, very good. I know WoW has phasing, but phasing has limitations, and it only uses clusters of servers, not all the regional servers. Which languages will be supported at the game's release, and do you intend to support more languages in the future? At launch, we'll support English localization with Japanese VO. We're currently working hard on localization QA to ensure Western players get the best first impression. Additional languages may come based on player feedback. We welcome your suggestions. That's to be expected. This may be a make or break situation for a lot of people. It's hard to say. For normal English-speaking gamers, they typically don't like to play games if they don't have English VO, but this is a game catering to the anime audience, and I think it's fair to say that the majority of the anime audience prefers subtitles anyway. The whole dub versus subs argument. I'm not going to get into that. It's not the subject of the video. This might not be as much of a hindrance. That said, it would be nice to have English VO, but I don't think that is a necessity, at least for the launch of the game. I think I can deal with not having English VO personally at the start of the game. I'm willing to read the subtitles. I'll read them out loud whenever I get around to playing the game and streaming it. Honestly, this is probably the best we could hope for. They probably don't have it in the budget, to have English VO quite yet. I would not be against it, against English VO in the future, though. This may be bad news for some of you, but I imagine a lot of us who are following this game probably would just be happy to have this game on our hands. I know I would. I just want the game. Question 13. Will a housing system be available at the game's release? If so, what features can players expect? We have good news for those who love to decorate their places. The housing system will be available at launch. Oh, I've never seen any housing systems in the Chinese beta. Does that mean that the Chinese player base will have this at launch? Or maybe by the time global gets it, then housing will be available. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I do wonder how housing is going to be like, how the decorating system is going to be like, and hold on, let me finish reading. Players can claim their own homestead at no additional cost. Oh, players can claim their own homestead at no additional cost. Oh, that's music to my ears. As a former Final Fantasy XIV player, that's music to my ears. Thank you. Which consists of two parts, an island and a house, both exclusively for the player's use. Players can invite up to 4 friends to cohabitate, 5 people total, and manage the house together. Oh, only 5 people. Bro, oh man. How to make me excited and then immediately deflate my excitement. Only 5 people? That's bad. The system offers high freedom of customization. Things like building partition walls, arranging furnishings, and more will be possible. The house also includes farming features where grown crops can be sold to merchants for housing currency to be exchanged for furniture and other items. Additionally, some furniture can be crafted through life skills. This pretty much sounds like the Guild Wars 2 housing. The reason why this doesn't really excite me anymore is because anybody who has played Final Fantasy XIV, knows how big the role-playing community can be over there. And it's all thanks to having large communities being able to congregate and gather in their houses and their housing. That's a shame. I was hoping they would, have a limit at least for 20 or 50 people, and maybe having some sort of house directory where, we don't need neighborhoods, we don't need plots of land, but, some way to browse and check out people's houses, right? So yeah, this is the Guild Wars 2 problem all over again. This probably won't be a problem for a huge chunk of players, but for the role-playing community, I believe, this will be not nearly as exciting to them anymore. Yeah, that's a shame. I hope, they remove these limitations at some point in the future. The website already shows the silhouette of a class using a guitar, which might be available at release. Do you plan to add more classes to the game? If so, at what intervals? The guitarist class will also be available at launch. Are they not calling it the beat performer anymore? They also come with two styles. One has DPS abilities that make it easier to play solo in the open world. The other one specializes in support, with strong healing and buffing abilities. Ooh, a DPS talent tree and a healing talent tree maybe? Oh, that's cool. The beat performer and the guitarist class is actually one of the classes I'm most excited for in the game. Just because it seems just so out there. Yeah, I've played Bard. I've played Bards in other games before, but come on, this is an electric guitar. As for future classes, we surely have plans to add more classes post-launch. Of course, alright, cool. We're implementing controller support starting with mainstream models, with plans to expand compatibility. Regarding consoles and Steam Deck, while we have nothing certain to announce yet, I'll say we are open to all possibilities. I mean, that's good. Yeah, having the game playable on Steam Deck would be nice. That would be really, really nice. Controller support, also very nice. It's not a very button bloat heavy game, would be more accessible to players who are more console oriented. This worked out very, very well for Final Fantasy XIV and helped, grow that game. Having controller support, I mean. So yeah, this is good. This is really good. We'll continuously add more outfits and cosmetics, including mix and match pieces, to allow players to express themselves as they want. While the core customization categories will remain the same, we will add more options for players to choose from. More eye shapes, hairstyles, etc. Nice. Good. Are there any plans to make a character creator available before the game's release, allowing players to take their time creating a character in advance? We also believe this is a good idea, and a character creation code system on the client side has been developed. The function needs to be tested, but I'll say it is very possible that players can see it at launch. Just basically saving character creation templates, right? Not against that, that's cool. We're preparing the beta for global now. We have seen Chinese players enjoy 2 tests. We know fans all over the world are excited to play BPSR. While I can't share exact dates yet, the wait can't be much longer. Dude, it can't come out soon enough. I just want the game. I know they need to test out server stability and all that jazz. Can we expect more regular opportunities like this, both before and after the game's release, for the community to provide feedback and ask questions? Additionally, will there be future developer live streams for the Western audience in English or with subtitles? Yes, we have developer talks for English fans planned. Other programs like dev live streams are also possible. Stay tuned for more. This is great. This is awesome. This is what a lot of, big gacha games have, like with their special programs and live streams. Genshin does this, Honkai does this, Wuwa does this. Because when I can tune in to one of these dev talks, I don't have to, find a translator. I may not have to turn on captions. I can just listen. Alright, that's it. That's the interview. Awesome. Thank you, Blue Protocol Star Resonance Database, and thank you, whoever wrote this article. Yeah, it kind of surprised me that that IGN got together with the Star Resonance Database people. So there you have it. Plenty of good things from this interview. but also some things that clearly bother me. Some of the problems I have and the concerns that I have are probably going to end up being nothing burgers, but what does stick out like a sore thumb is the housing being severely limited. That said, this is just a launch of the game. This could change in the future. I have hopes that they will improve on that. Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, BPSR Database people, and thank you, IGN. And as usual, I will try to stay on top of things on news for the game. I'm extremely excited for this. Whenever it comes out, I will go ham on it. I plan on playing and streaming this game, extensively, and creating all sorts of content for it. If you guys want, you can like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I play more than just MMOs. I play other games like Guild Wars 2 and other anime games. I have an anime game focus on the channel. Play games like Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, and other Eastern-centric games. So if you share in, similar hobbies like, anime and games, come on and join me. I stream on here, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Same handle. You can check out my stream schedule on twitch.tv/Vanillabean117/schedule, or you can subscribe to the channel and wait for scheduled announcements in your sub feed for the YouTube live streams. And if you'd like, you can check out other videos that I have on the channel, my reactions to previous Blue Protocol Star Resonance trailers, for example, other anime games, I've got all sorts of things on my channel. It's all sorted. You can check by video, shorts, live streams, you name it. Just cycle through the tabs on the main page. I even have a Discord community. The link is below in the description of the video. I ping everybody whenever I go live on stream. And yeah, on there we just, hang out, talk about anime, games, share memes. We're a pretty chill community. Small and modest. I hope you guys are looking forward to playing this game like I am. And I am hoping for the best for this game because, I've been waiting for this game to come out for 6 years. 6 long years, dude. It's about time we finally get to experience a decent anime MMO. And that's all I have to say. Anyway, you guys take care of yourselves. Please stay safe and be kind to each other. I will catch y'all later. I'll see you in the game at some point.